Mhm. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the REVN community stream for update 15.18. I'm Silas, the creative director here at Ambitious Games.
And I am Alistair, the balance team lead here at Ambitious Games.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about what we've been working on and what you can expect in the next patch, as well as a little look at some upcoming art. So first off, we've got a bunch of new props and textures you'll see around the map, particularly in the jungle and in the industrial side of the map. And then we also have some new VFX on towers, thanks to Ty. They look really nice. We're going to show them off in the next slide. There's also some new sound effects when you capture terminals, and around some elements of the UI. When you click on things, there's new sound effects. So, as you may have noticed a few weeks ago, we brought Tony Drew onto our team as our audio composer. So he's been working on music, sound effects, just general sound design. Super excited to have him on the team. You can check out more of his work as if you go over to his website, tonydrew.com. But super cool to have him on the team. We got a lot more sound coming from him in the near future. We also have new VFX on minions. When you kill them, if you are the player that is getting the Iker reward, it will play a little effect where there's some resources that burst out of the minion to give you a better idea of if you got the kill on that minion or not.
Yep. Going to be super nice. You're going to be seeing a lot of it next week when we are playtesting, especially with the most recently implemented minion changes that happened last week.
Yeah. And then here you can see this nice zoomed in GIF from Ty. You can see the tower shield is this sort of like orange glow around the tower to denote that it is invulnerable, that it can't take damage, and then that shield quickly fades when you or an ally comes within the aggro radius, excuse me, for the tower. So that looks really nice.
You
That was
know?
actually in the patch, I think, that we hotfixed earlier this week. And we're going to be putting in an update soon. I think it'll be in next week's patch where it will tint it blue if it's an ally tower. So a little bit more clarity on which side of the map you are from. Got a bunch of other VFX coming soon as well for the sandwich vendors. We're working on models for that. We'll show that off a little bit later. Balance changes this week. Alistair, what's new?
All right, so Heal Burst now has a cast time. This is to prevent double casting with Heal Burst. This is something you're probably going to see a lot more of. As we now have a lot more developer bandwidth to QA test the game. We are obviously able to find a lot more bugs at a lot higher of a rate. And one such bug that we've seen on at least a few abilities now is that it allows you to double cast if you kind of mash the two abilities at the same time. So we're probably going to be trying to stray away from that. And you might even see some like micro cast times on some abilities. Whatever's going to work best for each ability, right? Given the situation. Um, Heal Burst is just kind of first up on that list because it is possibly the largest offender um, of allowing you to animation cancel other abilities.
Yep. And you're going to see, like Alistair said, you're going to see a lot more of this coming in the coming weeks. One of the big ones that's on our radar is Orbital Strike and Delta Strike. It's currently possible to cast them both simultaneously, and that's just way more damage than anyone should have to deal with.
Right. Otherwise, we've got a lot of stuff coming this week. We got a lot of really good feedback in our last play test. Having that 4v4 was really great. Played 2 games this past Wednesday. Um, One of the things, boring rounds is going to be getting a nerf. One of our community members, Loomis, questionable. He brought this to my attention about a couple weeks ago, and I really got to mess around with it in the playtest this week. And yeah, boring rounds is pretty crazy right now. Just an insane amount of armor penetration at the moment. So we're going to be tuning that down. Um, and hopefully it will allow shredding clip to kind of get back into the meta a little bit, because as it stands, boring rounds is just the most efficient armor penetration you can buy. Next up, we've got the Rally nerf. This is another ability that we've have historically hit in the past. Rally is kind of considered in that like ultimate tier of abilities where it costs a lot of energy and it has like a really big effect and a pretty long cooldown. Um, and we don't have any like exact answers on how exactly we're gonna go about nerfing Rally, because as I was looking at it earlier today, it's just got a lot of things that are really strong about it. And we do want to create a lot of like really strong and interesting abilities for players to use in REVN. But there's a line right now, at least with the current state of the game, where we don't want any ability to get over a certain level of gold efficiency, and Rally is really beyond that. So definitely going to be getting some Rally changes
Yeah.
pushed out for this next week. I mean, Silas, Rally has been a thorn in our side. So I mean, maybe if you want to talk a little more.
Rally's a really interesting ability. It is one of the best support abilities in the game, so we definitely don't want to over nerf it into irrelevance. We think that it's really nice, the impact it has on gameplay, where it brings people together. You sort of rally your team together. You give off a passive heal, and then you can press a big green go button to give your team that burst of momentum to charge into battle. So the mechanics of the ability are great. We're mostly going to be looking at the stats because of the insane value that its stats give. Um, it is just really good. It's worth like a tier 5 item at level 1 as an ability. So we're going to be looking at really tuning in those stats so that it becomes um, still a nice go button, but not something that wins you the game. Uh, you know, early by like maybe rushing for it. So I think some things we can look at tuning might be either Iker cost or the scaling of the ability to try and put more of its power into the mid game rather than the early game. Um, and at least that's where I'd like to see it go. Is it's just so strong right now. You can start a match with it and maybe really guarantee that your jungle invade goes well, and then you just keep snowballing. And I think that's good. I think it should be, if you want to take an ability that's good for jungle invade, Rally's maybe a great candidate for that. But right now it is just a little overtuned in that regard, where it pretty much guarantees you're winning the early game.
And I know I talked about it a little bit in our last play test, but one big thing with REVN is that the first time you purchase anything is going to be the most efficient purchase of whatever stat that is. And because Rally had so much value to it in the beginning of the game, and boring rounds, for example, was 200 Iker and Rally was 400 Iker, so you were able to purchase both of them at the beginning, and that was pretty problematic because of just how much actual Iker value there was on each of them.
Yeah,
Um, so that's why we're kind of hitting these two. I'm sure if any of you watched the playtest, you certainly saw what this looked like in action. It was a big blast to be on the pilot side of it, but I could tell it was not fun to play against. So we're going to be
yeah,
changing that. Wrist Rocket is getting a buff, and as I'm talking about Wrist Rocket, I want to talk a little bit about Orbital Strike. Um, Orbital Strike is one of those things that we would consider to be like a caster's core ability. And Wrist Rocket is also supportive, sort of supposed to be within that vein. Um, as it stands, Wrist Rocket is about 50% as effective as Orbital Strike, and largely that is due to ease of use. As we have playtested, though, we have seen that people are really good at using Orbital Strike, and they're getting better. So a long time ago, we kind of sacked Wrist Rocket a little bit because it was so strong comparatively to Orbital Strike due to the skill level of players. But now we're seeing that Wrist Rocket actually is probably about as easy or possibly even harder to use than Orbital Strike. And we're going to be buffing it to compensate it in that way.
makes sense to me. Um,
Otherwise,
Yeah. Uh, I'm just now wishing we had put together a GIF for these exploding barrels. I'll be posting that
We
on
should
Twitter.
have.
I'll get it out next week. All right, how about that? We'll get it out on Twitter sometime early next week. Um, we've got a nice warning circle that appears for like a quarter second when the barrels explode, just to give you a nice bit of clarity as to where the damage is coming from, how big the radius is. You can learn to avoid it. We also added screen shake to a lot of explosions in the game, which includes the exploding barrel. So you can actually kind of get a little bit more immersed in the game when you're blowing up barrels and shooting the Lance rocket rifle and that kind of thing. Do want to call out that we are going to be adding a gameplay setting to disable screen shake if it does bother you, if you're sensitive to it or anything. Maybe also a slider to adjust some of the sensitivity on it, but we're at least going to have a toggle to turn it off. That'll be coming soon. That's not in yet, so if you are sensitive to that kind of thing, maybe just wait a week or two for that to come out.
All right. And then finally, this was another one that popped up in the last playtest. This is more so, it's not necessarily a bug, but it was an unintended interaction. Um, where jungle monsters would target the sentry turret, and this was largely a problem because the sentry turret would not hold the jungle monsters aggro, so that would lead to the camp losing aggro, resetting, and then subsequently healing, making it basically impossible to take Angel or Hunter if one of your teammates were to throw down a sentry turret too early in the fight. Um, so we're changing it so that jungle monsters will just no longer target sentry turret. If you are taking a jungle camp, it will be on the players to manage the aggro. And we're probably going to be trying to stick in that direction, where when you are taking a jungle camp, you are required to be taking some damage in return from said jungle camp, or at least fighting back against it in some way.
Um, cool. All right, let's take a look at bug fixes this week. We've been working on a bunch of animation stuff with Jake, our new animator. So we fixed some small visual glitches with dodge rolling. We also fixed a bunch of hitboxes this week. So if you're part of our Tuesday playtest or you watched it on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/silascodes, I stream most of the playtests on there. And on Tuesday, we found a wonderful bug where most of the skins in the game just didn't have a hitbox, except in their
Well,
left
no,
foot. There's the
yeah,
left foot. Yeah,
okay.
it was really weird. So that was a very fun playtest. Then we went in and got that fixed and hot fixed on Wednesday, so we actually were able to test and confirm that this is fixed because it was fixed as of Wednesday. That fix might have also fixed Rex and Tyrant, which are two new skins that we attempted to introduce about a month ago, and then they were very buggy on release. Their hitboxes didn't work. I think it's a similar, if not exactly the same issue as what was happening to all of the skins, or more of the skins on Tuesday. So I'm hoping that what I changed was a global fix that will apply to both of those skins. We'll find out on Tuesday. And if you're wondering, geez, why does it sound like Silas has no idea how this works? I wonder that question too. The reason is that this particular bug was only happening in live versions of the game that were being played on dedicated servers. So when we played on a dev build, when we played a multiplayer dev build, when you play in single player or practice mode, it just wasn't a bug. But when you would go into a multiplayer player versus player hosted on a dedicated server, live build of the game you download from Steam, that scenario caused these skins to break. And so it was a very niche scenario that was really difficult to test because in order to test it, we would have to package and deploy an update to the game and push it out to our dedicated servers. And that process takes somewhere between 10 to 30 minutes to basically test anything we wanted to try to attempt to fix this. So it was a pretty difficult thing to work on. And we're working on some systems that will let us test bugs like that faster, but some of it is really just bottlenecks on the side of our servers that are really difficult to overcome in terms of like just deploying a server takes a good amount of time. It's not like an instant thing you can test. A lot of the other bugs we fix, you can kind of hop in the game right away and test it very quickly. So appreciate everyone's patience while we worked on getting these skins fixed up. Fingers crossed, Rex and Tyrant will work on Tuesday. If they don't, we'll lock them again and go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going on there. And then finally, casting various abilities now cancels reloads. I think Alistair touched on this a little bit earlier when he's talking about Healing Burst, and we were talking about Orbital Strike and all of that, but a number of different abilities in the game, Healing Burst, Rage, what's the other one we did this week?
Smash. Probably?
Smash, yeah, those three
Yeah.
abilities. This week they'll now cancel your reload. You won't be able to reload while you're casting them. There was a buggy interaction between Healing Burst and reloading that we got to work out. So we might disable Healing Burst if we don't get that fixed by Tuesday. We'll, again, fingers crossed we get that sorted out, but Healing Burst might be disabled on Tuesday, and some of us will have to figure out a new build.
Some of us, hey?
Some of us, yeah.
Yeah, no, super excited to be making all these changes, because these are the kinds of things that we can globally implement, basically, that just really improve the gameplay feel. Really, really excited to move forward. This past week has been really awesome, for us on the dev team. We've got everybody onboarded now, who just came onto the team, and we're all in full movement, and it's just been really, really exciting. The playtests have been really great this week. Big thanks to the community and anybody who's been like watching out for us, and what we're doing, because this has been awesome.
Yeah, this has been a super crazy week. Alistair was talking to me about before the stream. He was calling it, trial by fire, or baptism by fire this week. I think you said baptism by fire, didn't you?
Yeah, I did say. I said it's a baptism of fire.
Yeah. Yeah, so this has been a crazy week of just all kinds of stuff. We've been remodeling our studio too. I would post a picture of that on the stream, but it is a giant mess right now.
It is not worth posting at the moment.
Yeah, we're gonna wait till things are tidied up, which might be a week or two. But we've been doing a lot of work there. We got a bunch of sound treatment panels and stuff just arrived yesterday. I've got, I think, 24 boxes of foam panels to unbox and put on the walls with Tony on Monday, so that's gonna be cool. Got a bunch of furniture to put together. Alistair's really looking forward to that.
Oh dear God. Hey, Shadowboss, I see you in the chat real quick. We are going to be wrapping up the stream here in a second. I just wanted to say the link is in the event on Discord. So when you click interested on the event in Discord, in the REVN game Discord, you will be able to get it from there.
Okay. All right.
I see you.
I'm glad Robert figured that out.
Oh. Oh man. Robert makes me look silly out here. He's playing me like a fiddle.
We left the call. Wait, what did we? We left the call.
Oh,
Wait, what?
we did just we were in workroom and we just moved into streaming because we realized it was 7 and we had to go.
Oh, okay. Wait, were we supposed to send Rob a link to something? Rob, shoot me a message on Discord if I was supposed to send you something. Now I'm.
We'll be back in work area in a sec. We're gonna wrap this up.
We're almost done here. All right, finally got a little bit of art to show off this week. Up here in the right side, you've got the new sandwich vendor. So in the marketplace, this is our friendly four-armed friend who will be throwing sandwiches at you to heal you. And on the left, we've got our new minion spawner. So this will be implemented around the core to teleport in your minion waves. And I think the sandwich robot is actually already modeled. We're just moving through the texturing and animating process now. So you can expect that to be coming out, I'm going to say probably in the next 2 weeks or so. And the minion teleporter, we're going to be working on some particles in the next couple of weeks as well. So these are coming out, I'm going to say, within the next 2-3 weeks. All right. Oh, Shadow's asking about the link to the stream because I didn't announce it in anywhere and like announce the stream. So yeah, sometimes I forget to do that. I should
Well,
probably get better
that's
about
why I was
that.
plugging the event earlier because the
Oh,
event
okay.
does always have the link in it, and if you click interested on the event, it will give you a notification that the event's happening, and you can get the link from there.
Gotcha. So
It's a
when you
great
go,
option.
yeah, yeah. I love Discord events, honestly. They're such a good like feature. Um, you
They
know,
are, and it feels really good to incorporate like members of the community more too
yeah,
in that way because it's like if you are involved in our Discord, you're obviously going to be more involved and you're going to see the events when they're coming up
right,
and you're going to be able to get interested in them and get that extra notification through your primary means of communication
yeah.
with the game and its community.
Yeah, I mean, if Discord's listening, and I know they're not, but I would really love a recurring events feature, so I don't have to make the event every week for 3 different events.
Please.
I've been kind of messaging them on Twitter about this. They keep telling me that it might or might not happen. So I don't know. I hope they figure that out someday. But in the meantime, you guys have a great weekend. Like Alistair said, this has been a really fun week for us here at Ambitious. We're really looking forward to next week. We'll have that patch out sometime on Monday, playtest on Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Tuesday's going to be at 12 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday will be at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you guys there.
See you guys.